We live?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I got the little
We
I
live,
thought
we
maybe
hot.
we'd try to be a little professional.
Tucker.
I missed
Today
the-
is not a day to be professional. Today is a day to wallow in sadness and misery.
I missed
okay?
the Andy from Denver. We live, we hot. I like it.
you're,
Haven't
the
heard it in a while.
you're the only person alive. Well, Andy's calls have not been on the
I haven't
radio.
heard
Hasn't
it.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe don't be a.
Sure, it'll be a day where a lot.
Don't be a total troll when you call every time, and maybe your calls will get on more. All right, we ready to roll here?
Let's do it.
Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. Bet Parks, you love to play unless it's the Philadelphia Phillies playing, and then you hate it.
Yeah.
And everything sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. This is the last time the name Philadelphia Phillies should be said on this podcast. This is a safe haven to talk Eagles, the only team that's alive right now. I'm in a bad mood today.
Already slamming the table.
Yeah, I would like to apologize to listeners ahead of time if I seem irritable or maybe like I jump on Elliot for something that's unfair. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to the listeners. I am in a high level bad mood.
So
I just want to get that out.
Well, let me say this. So, first of all, it feels like it's been a while.
I'm wearing black.
You are wearing black.
Purposefully wore black. I literally chose to wear
no
black
jeans.
I don't own black.
You should get black jeans. Black jeans are.
Yeah.
You would like them a lot.
I don't.
They match a lot of things.
I just don't think I can pull it off. I'm not a black jeansman.
They're slimming. I just little piece of advice. But so
you're the best.
We haven't.
I needed you today. So thank you.
We haven't recorded since my soccer team lost in the worst way possible.
Oh
Temple lost in the worst way possible.
Yeah, it's so true.
And it is funny, like. So I do have.
Tucker and I saw the Temple thing at the Phillies game when they were losing. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But I've said this on the daily.
And by the way, real quick, for those, like, look up Leeds bad goal or Leeds goalie.
Yeah,
whatever you want to look up. Elliot sent this to Tucker and I one day, whenever it happened. We're just at home. And it is legitimately the worst goal I've ever seen given up. Like, it's the worst one. It's number one.
Well, the funniest thing is, so I'm driving in the car with Kristen to the mall, and there's like 4 minutes to go. So I'm like, all right, we can leave. I'm like, we're in the car. I'm looking, and I'm like, so the feed's normally 3 minutes behind. I know people turned in for Leeds, Sunderland, but
hey,
I'm going. I have a point.
You're going somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm like, I can just turn it off because the game's probably been over for 5 minutes. It'll say the score, and I didn't. And then I watched, and I'm like. Like, this can't be happening. And where I'm going with it is I wanted nothing to do with anything Leeds for like 4 days.
Yep.
Like, I didn't listen to the pods I normally listen to. I didn't check my like Twitter group, right? Yeah. So I like the Eagles have not lost for a few days, but like I think some of the truest fans are the ones that can listen to their favorite pod after their team.
I totally agree.
There is nothing you want to do less than just like relive that empty feeling of like pain.
So we have said so many times on this podcast, and we believe it to our core. We are both feel incredibly lucky that we get to do what we do for a living. You know, it is such a gift that I get to wake up in the morning and be happy and talk about things I love and all that. There are a couple days a year, and maybe not even every year. There are a couple days a year where I don't want to do my job.
It's just a gut punch.
Today was to that point, like yes, I wouldn't want to listen. No offense, Jack. I wouldn't want to listen to Io's podcast today.
Right.
Like if you did, I love you for it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do the show. I didn't want to talk about it. Like, I actually didn't want to talk about sports today because of it. So I am right there with
the thing that I always remember is like growing up, when the team you like lost, like you wouldn't want to watch Sports Center.
I wouldn't.
Like, you'd be watching it, and then the game you liked came on. You'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I would normally watch it. You know me. I watch the baseball playoffs every year.
Right.
Like, I love I'm out. Like, maybe I'll tune in for some World Series games. Like, I'm out. Like, I don't care what happens in the like. Go Tigers, I guess. You know, like, yay.
Well,
like and
I give just one Phillies thought, and then we'll move on.
As long as it's not a thought.
It's not about the game.
No. That is intended to make me feel better because I don't want that.
No, it's not.
Okay, good.
It's not.
Please,
Yeah.
lay it on.
So
bury him.
Yeah.
Bury him.
Yeah.
Bury those losers.
It was
those freaking losers. I'm sorry.
It was just interesting because, like, I've definitely been in the camp of the Phillies don't get criticized enough.
Dude, for what it's worth, you have been on. You called them front runners. You were dead on. You called Mets in 4. You were dead on. You have had a real read.
Yeah,
I know.
The one thing I can get right, but like, It was interesting when they lost last night. I didn't feel mad. I just felt more sad about it. Like, it just feels like an end of an era. It's been such a fun 3 years that I have a hard time being mad at them. Like, they
I'm mad.
No, I 100%. Like,
but I am also sad that it does feel like this little thing. And look, they'll still be in it next year. I mean, they have a chance. Like, the window isn't totally closed. It
always feels like this way 24
But like this group, there's going to be changes.
Yeah.
And like, it's not going to be about the vibes anymore. And how fun is this team? And Citizens Bank Park and the Magic, like, gone.
Yeah.
Done. Now they are in Sixers territory where it's like, win and we'll talk. Like, that's, and
the regular season.
And it is such it is, to your point, there was magic there, and there won't be. And I am very, very, very sad today. That, like, I'm mourning the end of that. And look, you never know. Like, look, they can come back next year and win it all. Like, that could be the that we see that all the time, where it's like when you don't expect it, it happens. Like the Eagles, when Carson Wentz goes down and we're all out of it, and then Nick Foles does the most miraculous thing we've ever seen. Like, stuff happens. Sports are weird, but like today, it feels like I'm mourning something that was really fun and really special.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about it in the positive moments of the Phillies, but there was like 10 years of my life where they were basically irrelevant.
Exactly. Yeah. And my whole life prior to that, again, like, I made this point to Emily and Zoe at the beginning of game 1, where this is Zoe's 3rd year of life with a Phillies playoff season. I was 26 years old when I got that. It was, and the first one was 1983 when I was 2 years old. 2 years old, 1993, I'm 12 years old, and then I'm 26 in 07. Zoe's seen 3 already at the age of 6 almost.
I mean, from
it is a very different thing.
Yes. But the other, and then now we'll get to the Eagles. But I mean, you and Jack said this on the High Hopes post-game pod, and people like, man, it just, when you lose like this, it just capitalizes, or not the right word. It highlights how much you got to take a chance when you're there.
Dude, 2022, we're going to look back on like this Eagles group.
Well, this is where I was going with it. It's so like, we can debate if they're losers, not clutch, whatever, all those things. But it just has to suck for the 2022 Phillies and the 2022 Eagles, like Nick and Jalen we'll talk about, to be so close.
I know.
So close. And I know this is not fun for people to hear.
So close to forever.
But to be like almost champions, and now 2 years later, we're sitting here and being like, they can never win with them.
Yeah. These guys will never be able to figure it out together.
It's so hard to carry that with you. And I think there is a bit of that with the Phillies. And I think we still see some of it with the Eagles. It's just like a frustration and a level of like,
man,
like that has to be so hard to continue to play with. So yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks they're eliminated. I know this isn't High Hopes, but I mean, it's sad.
All right. Well, let's talk Eagles.
Which actually, a lot of positives with the Eagles.
Sure.
A lot of pressure on Sunday too.
Yeah. So I'm not, So I so much pressure. Like this is
they don't even
honestly, you like to do the must win, can't lose thing a lot more than I do. And you do the must thing.
Absolute must win.
This is a must win.
And not even a must win in the
not for the Eagles, for the city.
Boy, and for the city.
Like
as well.
The Eagles theoretically could go 2-3 and make the playoffs. And like,
for sure,
football's weird, whatever. Like they should beat the Browns. It's important that they win a game like this because it's an easy win. But like for this city, like they have to play well.
And like the anger of the city will
transfer immediately.
Not only transfer, it'll be like
it'll be fully on them. They'll be the only thing there.
I don't know physics. Be like a ball rolls down the hill and it picks up steam.
Yes, you're right.
Like that thing is like
physics.
That right. That thing is coming.
Is rolling.
like that ball is
that boulder's
right
getting
towards
bigger
the link,
and bigger
right?
As it
goes. If they come out and play well,
no, it's such a great point.
I think people will be really happy. And I don't think they would fire Nick in season. But if they come out on Sunday, and
if they lose the Browns,
the pressure to fire Nick
will be over.
Doesn't even matter how they play.
Overwhelming. Yeah, you're right. They're 9-point favorites. I mean,
in the last tie-in, and I'm sorry to keep doing it, but like I can't help it. It's just how my brain works. So like you've been really critical of Topper this morning. I think rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree the players on the field need to have
They failed him more than he failed them, but it doesn't mean that he did a good job either.
The thing. Like he's overseen them for 2 years.
Exactly.
And so this is my thing with Nick. Well, I do believe Jalen on the field is the biggest issue. When we talk about like whether or not Nick will be fired, Nick has had a year and a half to try to fix Jalen from the turnover thing. So I don't think they'll fire Nick in season. I really don't. But if they come out on Sunday and they don't play well or they lose, I think that's the sweet spot where he could go. You know, like I think Lurie would probably rather be too early than too late on this team.
I agree. I'm with you though. I just
think they like him too much.
It's not what Jeffrey Lurie does. I mean, it Chip Kelly, and that was before the last game of the season.
Right,
Like,
he waited the whole
like
time,
he just doesn't do it. Like it is. I mean, Andy Reid, you know, and I know it's a different situation because Andy was here so long and all that. But I mean, Andy, we were calling for him to be fired for 10 weeks of that last season, and he just held out.
And obviously, Andy had a lot more built up. He held on to Doug
he did.
the whole season.
I would just be shocked. I would be shocked.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk Birds because look.
But there actually is positivity.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
We got all the negativity out of the way.
Yeah, you feel like there's positivity in the Birds. I see no positivity in anything today. So like you can try and cheer everyone up. I'll say quickly let's do Devin White and then let's get into positivity because you and I have
a century ago.
You have not. I know, but you and I haven't talked about it yet. We have not been on the pod. I know you did a solo pod, so people have heard your thoughts. I'll just quickly say I mean, what a miss.
Yeah.
What a miss. And I think that they gave Devin White what he wanted. I think he wanted to be cut. And I think that's why he was doing the things he was doing, like retweeting, a tweet about Lavonte David in the game. I think he was like, cut me, guys. And look, I understand it from his perspective. He wants to go out and whatever.
He's a free agent.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I also think it's Bush League of him. Like, you signed a contract. You came here. We gave you money. Like, things didn't go your way and you're a little baby about it. Like, I'm fully out on Devin White as a football player. I wouldn't want him on my team. I'm happy he's not an Eagle anymore. But it does, like, it hurts the team. You counted on this guy and the linebacker depth is, Nakobe's hurt right now, right? I mean, like, not
limited with an
limited.
Ankle,
I mean, like, I love the idea of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. being an Eagle, but like, we're talking about 5th round rookie potentially having to start for this team. From a team perspective, the Devin White.
So first of all right, from just a inside the Novacare perspective, I think Devin White was a pretty popular guy. Like, I saw him in the locker room, like talking with players, joking around. He had the group chat. He talked now active that group chat.
I wish I could. I'm sorry, whoever you were, I can't remember, but I saw a very funny tweet with. I wonder what the last text of the accountability chat was.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But look, I think my biggest
like 2 months ago. Or
right. I agree with a lot of what you said about Devin White. I think that, with his career somewhat on the line, he definitely acted selfishly. Now, we could debate if you have to act selfishly in that moment. I don't know. I've never been in it. Hopefully I never am. But but I think at this point, that thing doesn't really matter. But what does matter is it was a miss. It was definitely a miss. I mean, they gave him $3.5 million. I mean, now it's not a miss of the level of a Bryce Huff, or it's not an impact signing the way of a Saquon. So you have to grade it on a scale.
Of course.
But they targeted Devin White early in free agency. They gave him $3.5 million. They gave him all the starter reps all offseason. They clearly felt this guy could help them. And I think what the Eagles would say is, well, he got a chance. Like, he was in training camp. He had a chance to win the job. And I think there is truth to that. But Nakobe hasn't played well enough where he's above this idea that Devin White could take his job. Like, whatever you want to think of Pro Football Focus grades, he is ranked one of the worst linebackers in the entire NFL so far. I don't think he's been that bad. He's had really good games. He was really good against New Orleans. We talked about that. I think he's had good moments. He had good moments against the Packers, right? But they're not above cutting a linebacker like Devin White. And maybe Jeremiah Trotter Jr. will go in and play well if he has to. But Devin White has played really well at an NFL level. And maybe he's just cooked now. Maybe Vic Fangio is correct, and Vic Fangio is like, this guy can't play. Maybe he's right. But they're just not good enough at linebacker, in my opinion, where we can just gloss aside they're cutting him because he like retweeted Lavonte David, And I'm not saying you are, but I think that has turned the fans against him. But it doesn't overshadow the fact that this was a pretty sizable miss. And for what it's worth, Howie's missed on a lot this offseason.
Well, I saw your tweet, and I think it's dead on. I mean, really, outside of Saquon, Zach Bond, and Quinyon Mitchell, like, misses across the board for Howie. And this is a big, and it's kind of similar. Not to, I said no Phillies, but
it's possible. Like, your whole brain.
Yeah. It's just but like the Dombrowski thing, where I've made a big point the last few days where I think Dave Dombrowski has to get ripped a lot more than he has been because of the misses he's had, particularly at the trade deadline. I mean, this year I said it like, you heard me, like, nonstop, like, add to this team, go win a freaking World Series, and you Austin Hayes and Carlos Estevez. Like,
what's crazy,
and I do think that Dombrowski, similar to Howie has had more success in Philadelphia than Dombrowski, but Dombrowski obviously has a career-wise more success. But I think that it's one of those things where we've kind of given them a pass the last couple years for the work that they had done the prior couple years. And I think that that's kind of getting to the point where it's like, all right, like, not that Howie's a great general manager.
Yeah.
And I think, more good than bad.
For sure.
But I do think that since 2022 and with this roster, we're like, Howie, it's all. And like, I think that we're starting to see a season. All right, you know what? Howie might not have had a great offseason. And
look, it could also
he deserves some blame if things don't go the right way.
It's all connected too. Like, it could also be the coaches haven't been great, so the players look worse.
Sure.
It could also be Jalen's not playing well, so Jahan Dotson's like, it's all connected. But to the Howie thing, where I will give him credit compared to Dombrowski. What's surprising to me about Dombrowski is there's a tweet going around listing all the moves he's made since 2022.
Yeah, I read it on the air.
What's wild is
trade deadline
there's
moves.
like 6 of them. Like, he really hasn't made.
No. So that's different. You're seeing the Giglio tweet. Giglio just put out the top moves. Like, he has made a lot of.
But I'm saying I don't think he's made.
I think the list that, like, this is the full list of trades he's played for at the. This is just trade deadline moves. Like, so like he's made moves. They're just they're just inconsequential.
Yeah, right.
Like,
but so that's to the Howie thing. Like, missing on Devin White with $3.5 million is not the end of the world.
Agree.
But
missing on Bryce,
if you miss on enough little ones, like Tyler Hall, not a huge.
Well, that's
name.
what happened in
He got cut.
2020.
PJ
Like, there were a lot of
cut.
issues in 2020. The team was probably going to be bad anyway because of Carson and all that. But he missed on everything.
Right.
He missed on the little guys like Eric Wilson and all these type of guys.
Matt Hennessy missed. Paris Campbell, I don't know if you could call him miss, but he did get cut out of training camp for what it's worth. John Ross missed. Like, a lot of the little moves he made where I know they're not like drafting Quinion in the first round or signing Saquon. I get that. But if you miss on all of them, that's how all of a sudden your roster becomes super thin and you're playing against the Buccaneers and you have nothing because, you've missed on them.
You own that depth. Yeah. All right, well, let's get to the positives because somehow, my fault. Yeah. I am not in the mood to be positive today. That's very clear. I know. I'm just finding negative things to talk about.
Yeah.
Why do you feel so positive coming out of the bye?
Well, okay. So I thought, a couple things. One, they are healthy for what it's worth.
Look, we all know getting Devontae, AJ, and Lane back.
And honestly, I think there's an argument. I was thinking about this. I don't know if we stressed it enough. AJ, Devontae, and Lane might be the 3 best players on the team.
Well, that's what I said. I said 3.
Can you think of
Saquon? I think it's those 4.
Saquon,
That's what I said last time. I said, I acknowledge that
maybe.
No, I think it's those guys. Like, I acknowledge that 3. Jalen Carter was supposed to be. He's not. Like,
he's not.
Yeah. I acknowledge. I think they lost 3 of their 4 best players for that game.
Right.
That does matter.
And arguably, when you 3 of their most important players. So those guys coming back.
Usually 3 of your best players are 3 of your most important players. That's
true. Well, I don't know because your cornerback. Yeah, regardless.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I agree with your point. But they are going to be healthy. So that they are very healthy, which is a big deal. But I do think, and it's probably going to get lost in the shuffle because obviously the Phillies season ended. Heads up. But Jalen Hurts' answer on Nick Sirianni talking about
it was the best.
I'll take you through the
bye week he's ever had, right?
Yeah. So Nick Sirianni spoke yesterday. We're recording.
Well, hold on. Let's set up what happened prior because this was something that people were concerned about heading into the bye when Jalen was asked about him and Nick and what they do in the bye week. He did we have our moments, and people were like, "Oh,
right."
Go ahead.
So yesterday when Nick talked at 12, he was asked, "What do you think is an important part of being a successful owner, head coach, GM relationship?" And the first thing he said was communication. And I thought that was a really interesting first word to use when you consider the whole thing with him and Jalen is they don't really talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I thought was interesting. That was at 12. And then Jalen talks later in the day at 4:30, right before the Phillies game. And he talks about how him and Nick met during the bye week. And he called it, he said, they are in harmony.
Yep.
He talked about them together, which honestly, I'm not sure
we're expecting it.
No, I'm saying I don't remember the last time I heard him use the word together about them too. I'm sure during the Super Bowl run they did, and there were probably moments, but the use of the word together I thought was really important. He complimented Nick. He said, I'm paraphrasing here now, but I'm lucky to have Nick as a coach. He brings a lot of good things. I don't know if he was told to say it, whatever, but man, that is the answer that you
we've been waiting for.
It's the answer they've been waiting for.
This whole time. It's all we wanted the guy to say. Thank you, Jalen.
And,
whether you believe it or not, just say it.
I will definitely learn from my mistakes I thought the AJ Brown press conference last year. Remember,
you thought it was going to change the season.
And obviously it did not, right?
Nope.
So I'm not sitting here acting like this is a watershed moment. But you think back to the 0-1 Sixers, right? Like Larry Brown and Al. You like this?
Sixers was not expecting. I mean, it's a fair. I get where you're going. Yeah, with the Iverson Brown relationship.
Well, no, but then they had a meeting.
They had a meeting and they figured it out and moved forward.
They broke the tension.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I don't know if that's what happened here. Hopefully, we find out. But if Nick and Jalen truly sat down, whether it's just them two or them and Howie or them and whoever, and like talk through their differences and came out of that on the other side better, I mean, that's a big deal.
It would be. So it's
a massive deal.
It would be, look, I think it would be massive.
Yes.
Now I find it a little Pollyanna to believe that they talked and they're best buds now. Like, I don't know
though. I mean, when people are fighting, like,
but it doesn't feel like they've ever had that type of relationship.
But they were.
All I need them to do is have a good working relationship. So like, I think this is a positive.
I need more than that.
I just don't think you're going to get more than that. Like, do you really think that all of a sudden with the way we think Jalen felt about Nick? And look, there's been a lot of inferring and a lot of guessing.
It's complicated. We're talking about a relationship here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But do we really think that like they had a bye week and all of a sudden like everything's perfect? No, like that. It's losing. We know what will happen if they lose 2 games and Jalen feels like it's Nick's fault. We're going to be back to where we were. So like, but this is all we can ask for. Like, all we can hope for is hearing this from Jalen and hoping that they can find a way to be better moving forward. So I do think this is absolutely a positive. I'm just saying I'm not going to like be like, hey, all right, everything's great. They're good now. You know what I mean? So, I need to see how it progresses.
I do agree with you that, as with all relationships on a team, when you lose, like, it's going to test the relationship. And so we will see if when this relationship is tested again, it is as strong as maybe they're inferring it is now. But I do think, I'll push back like a little bit on what you're saying. I do think that if Nick and Jalen, let's just say there was something that really annoyed Jalen about Nick and they finally talked it out. Like, I think there could be a relief.
It's possible.
On both their
it's
sides.
Definitely possible. It's definitely possible that there was an airing of grievances or whatever, and they came out stronger on the other side. But I don't think like you don't think they're going to come out and be best friends on the other side.
No, like, but I also think we're underselling how we viewed their relationship before.
Sure, they might have been close.
I mean, like, they had the handshake. They got to the Super Bowl together. We talked about how they complimented each other because Nick is really emotional and Jalen isn't. And that, when you have a leader on a team, you want both. Like, I think the clip at the Super Bowl is such a perfect example of how perception changes everything.
Yeah.
Like, where Nick's kind of, doing the first down and Jalen just puts his arm down. And at the time, it's like, oh, look at these two.
Right. And then after it's like,
now it's,
oh, no.
He's always hated him, right? So obviously we're all kind of just reading from the outside and reading. But I just listening to Jalen and the way he talked about him, it was the most complimentary I've heard him of Nick in a long time.
And again, like, I think that's an unequivocally good thing. Like, I think it is inarguable that is good news for the Eagles. It's good news for Eagles fans. And props to Jalen Hurts. Yes. Like, again, now maybe I wish he had done it a little quicker, but to your point, maybe he needed this.
But the flip side of that is if he repeatedly has not done it and now he's doing it, that makes it seem more authentic.
I get it. Like, I get it. But
obviously they've told him.
But I never needed it to be authentic. Like, I just needed him to say the right thing.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But now
it's better if
now that we are where we are, like, I think
course,
you can
again.
You can read it as authentic.
I think it is probably. Again, and regardless, it's a good thing for the Eagles. Like, hopefully they can move forward.
Honestly, I'm excited. I don't normally look forward to press conferences, but I am excited for Nick on Friday
to see about it. Yeah,
see, have him talk, because Nick did mention multiple times in his press conference that he was really blown away by the players talking during the bye week and the work they did and how productive the meeting. So Nick did hint before Jalen said it that like he had met with players in a really productive way. He feels good about. And, to, of course, tie the Phillies back in, like, I do think that when you're carrying the baggage of bad losses and there's tension and stuff, that a lot of the struggles can be emotional. And if they feel they've sat down and fixed things, then, they have the talent.
No, I think it's a really good point. And I think that we're going to learn a lot on Sunday. Like, they are playing a team that they are absolutely better than, even with all the issues that we've had. We'll get there. Hold on.
Yeah.
But like, either way, even if they weren't playing a team that they're better than, like, all this stuff, all this talk, this great bye week, they should come out good. Like, they should come out and look good at the bye if they're going to be something, especially with how good they've been out of the bye with Nick to begin with.
It's such a style point game. Like, I know people like to mock the style points.
Elliot,
like,
I do. I hate
I know. It is a style point game.
Elliot, maybe there was one other time that I'm not remember. I think this is the first time in the history of the podcast I agree with you. This is a style points game. I need to see him come out and whoop
if
up
they
on the Browns.
If they win this game like 23-21 and it's close and like you got
problems.
I have a thought on the other side.
Okay, all right. That thought coming up on the other side, plus other reasons for positivity. But I want to talk about positivity. Mike Quick, Seth Joyner, Jody Mack, Rob Ellis, Joe Conklin, and us.
What a lineup.
Elliot Sherpark, James Seltzer. What a studly lineup minus us too. It is amazing. That is the Bet Parks lineup. We are the Bet Parks lineup. Bet Parks, the official sportsbook and online casino of the Go Birds Pod. The only one we use, the only one we recommend. Bet Parks Picks Pod coming up tomorrow. Elliot and I both had really solid weeks again.
I beat you, actually.
You did by a game. Pretty
I'll
thrilling.
Take it. Yeah.
Pretty thrilling.
I think I'm down 3 on you.
Yeah, I'm up on the season. We're both over 500 though for the season, which considering that and that's not including my 10-5 or 11-5 week the first week. No big deal. Whatever. I'm going to bring up every single week because I did it by myself. Whatever. But like we went like 4-10 week 2. So like since week 2,
we've been hot.
Heater.
Yeah.
So just,
and the parlays not hitting, the one did, but like we're hitting 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 if it weren't for
every week. Yeah.
Like who thought we had Seattle money line against the Giants?
Brutal.
So like we're locked in right now. So pay attention to the Bet Parks Pick Spot. And that's a beautiful thing. You can bet on all these games on Sundays. Bet more than the score. You can bet player touchdowns, rushing, passing yards, all the good stuff, sacks, interceptions, so much more. Join us on the Bet Park Sportsbook and online casino app. Plus, in addition to betting on all the sports action, playoff baseball, don't watch it, but bet on it, I guess, at this point. You can bet on basketball coming up. We're going to get Elliot basketball betting reports back.
I mean, look, the team to believe in now.
There we go. Hey, what about the Eagles? You just were talking about
the Eagles as well, yeah.
No, look, we will turn our lonely eyes to the Eagles and the Sixers and the Flyers.
The Sixers are
the Russian. They got the Russian.
The Sixers are facility like, winning isn't so easy now, is it? Mr. Clutch,
Are we all in on calling Mishkov the Russian? Because I think it's such a good nickname.
I don't know.
Because we never have Russians. Like he's the Russian. You don't like it?
I don't know if I'm
okay, you're out on that.
I think I'm into it. Yeah.
Well, I do like Mishkov.
It's fine. Yeah. I think he needs a great nickname.
He does.
The Russian is the
move. Not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I think it's all right.
I think it's fine. I think he a little more personality.
A little more pizzazz.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. Either way, you can bet on him. You can bet on all of it. Plus, of course, you can play live casino games, live blackjack, roulette, all kinds of stuff right on your phone. A casino right at your fingertips. And here's a great deal for you new users. If you download the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app, you get $1,000. Yes, $1,000 in casino bonus back. If you're down in the first 24 hours, casino bonus must be wagered. See betparks.com for details. You must be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. Gambling problem. Go 1-800-GAMBLER.
So you know how much I like getting ready in the morning, right?
Oh, yeah.
What I wear.
You really...
Right? Exactly, right. So
how many times more time do you think? Like if I take
a lot.
30 seconds or so.
A lot. Yeah. But here's the thing about this morning.
A lot. Way more than you. So much more than you. Yeah.
Getting ready this morning.
Look good though.
Thank you. Well, I knew it'd be I
love that sweater.
I'll tell you what, this and black jeans on you, I think you would look great.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
but it would be a good look.
So I put the sweater on because I knew it'd be like a little chilly. I checked the weather, obviously. Big few weather days, right? But
obviously,
I'll tell you what.
Is there a day you don't check the weather?
I know, but I stepped outside. It was way cooler than I thought. It was cold.
So I've been having that obviously as the guy who leaves his house at 3:30 in the morning, like real barometer of it. Like the last week or so, I keep stepping out and being like, "Oh man, like this is cold."
But you want to know why I was unaware how cold it is outside?
I think I know.
There was no cool air leaking into my house. There was none. Not a single little drop of cool air.
Why was that?
I have great windows.
That's right.
And you just don't really appreciate having great windows.
You're the master of taking us somewhere today. Like just go along with the journey. You're gonna get us there. Yeah. It's on fire with that today.
And if you need great windows, you know who to call. Window Nation.
The only people to call.
We're lucky that we have 2 great sponsors we work with, but I am always blown away on how many stories we get about how dope.
It's unbelievable.
Because like I just don't think about buying windows, but obviously when you need them, you have to buy them. We've heard about people that have saved $10,000. Like imagine having someone come look at your house and say it's going to cost this, and then having someone else come and look and saying it's actually $10,000. It would feel free. And the thing with Window Nation is they basically are free in a way because you don't pay for a few years. You have no interest. I mean, if you need good windows, and everybody needs good windows, the people to call are windows.
Well, and we teased this on the last pod. We can officially say it.
That's right.
Our girl Allie.
Oh, right.
Shout out. 21 windows from Window Nation.
21 windows.
She said,
I guess windows have more than 4.
She said, she told him go Bird Center. So, thank you, Allie.
Thank you for that.
We love you. Allison, of course. And she said it was amazing. She said it's such a great experience.
That's awesome.
Awesome. And, it's awesome.
It would, and I will say, it does feel good because imagine we were sending all these people somewhere and then it was like, it didn't work out great. So I'm very happy.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So anyway,
that is a beautiful thing to be able to do that.
So with Window Nation, we've said it before, but we're going to keep saying it because we truly do love hearing the stories about people that use them and how well it works out. And look, Window Nation is always having some type of great deal. So, no matter when you need windows, you can go and get a good deal on them. So how do you get in contact with Window Nation? Well, first of all, you should trust them because they're on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So because Allie trusted them.
Allison and Allie. Her name is Allison. We call her Allie. On Twitter, you can check her out.
I like Allison better.
Yeah, I like Allison's a beautiful
Allison's
name.
a really strong name.
I agree. Great song, too. You know the song, Elvis Costello? Allison.
I do know Elvis Costello.
It's a great song. I'm not even a big Elvis Costello fan. Like, he's fine.
There's
that song is great.
There's a song by him I really like. I wish I could remember.
Allison.
I might look it up. But anyway, follow
her on Twitter. It's at Ellie_41_.
She'll tell you about
big time Eagles.
She'll tell you about the Window Nation.
We love you, Ellie.
So stop paying more than you have to. Hurry up and call Window Nation at 866-90Nation. That's 866-90Nation. Or visit windownation.com and do like everyone's done. Tell them Go Bird.
Tell them Go Bird sent you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't tell you the like just joy.
Gotta be cool.
In my gut when people tell me that they told when it just
it's cool.
It really means a lot.
Everyone wants to make a difference.
It really means a lot. Like it really.
That's why you go to college. Moments
really
like that
means a lot. Like I feel like I'm doing something, and honestly, it's
one window at a time.
But it's because we feel good about Window Nation. Yes. That's why. Like we really mean it. So awesome stuff. All right.
Speaking of things,
feeling good.
Speaking of things that maybe don't feel great about. Yeah. So all right. I love watching this guy on the quarterback. He does the quarterback school, right? He does these awesome breakdowns of like the Eagles games, and I think he's really, really smart. Everyone should check it out.
I think he's really smart.
I know. But let me tell you something. I opened the Parks app and I saw the line for this Eagles game is 9.
Shocking, right?
And I watched the quarterback school video of this team. I think they're going to win the game, and I will probably pick them. We'll do the.
Probably pick. Oh,
no,
you mean with the
cover.
points?
Yeah. I think they're going to win the game.
It's a lot of points for an Eagles team that has played every single game's been close, other than the one that got blown out.
A lot of points. So here's to tie back the style points thing and talk about Cleveland. Cleveland is a bad team.
Did I not say after the first week of football, I came on this podcast and I said Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback in the NFL, and I stand by it.
But you know what's wild? The numbers between Deshaun Watson and Jalen are not that different, which is crazy because I do think Jalen has played better than Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson is horrible.
He's really bad.
He is bad.
And the Browns also have a terrible offensive line. So this is a good week for the defensive line to come to life. But my concern about this game is not about the Browns. I just need to see this Eagles team play well.
I agree. When was the last time they whooped up on someone?
For me to say that they're going to win this game by more than 9, what have they done to deserve that?
So hold on.
Well, help me read the line.
I'm just real quick. It's a big time Eagles line. I mean, not 9 points for this Eagles team that just got waxed by the Bucs. So that is a
Vegas wants people to bet the Browns.
Vegas is saying that the Browns are super duper bad. Like that is what Vegas is saying that this is a
no. But the way I always look at lines is like, what does Vegas want you to gamble? What do they want you to pick?
Vegas is trying to get people on the Browns side because they want people. But the point is that open at 8.5, so it's already moved towards. So people are betting on the Eagles even despite the line. Is the point?
Okay.
And I mean that is a shocking line. I was shocked. Like again. I would expect like 6.5, maybe. Or so if you had asked me to guess the line, I would have said 6.5, 7 or something. And that's because the Browns are really bad.
Yeah.
Like the Browns are really, really, really bad, though. To your point, though, I'm just going through ragging my head. I feel like the Miami game last year, the last time they won by 9 or more points.
Yeah, I think they've only won 2
right? Because that was a 31-17. They won that one.
I think they beat
the Bucs 25-11. I remember because it was on my birthday.
Right.
And a scoregami 25-11. That's why I remember it so well.
There you
go. Yeah. Tucker, you don't believe me? Look it up.
Tucker's a big scorer.
Look it up. Week 3 last year. I'll tell you the date. September 25th. It was on my birthday.
There you go.
25-11. I feel incredibly confident about it. It's going to be so embarrassing if I'm wrong. Beyond embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, you do speak with conviction.
I am a big say it Like, I'm sure even which is funny because I will almost never. I know I was right. Thank you. See, I was right this time. Yeah. I will almost never argue with Emily if she says I'm definitely right, because unlike me, who will say I'm definitely right and be wrong, like Emily, once in the history of our relationship, ever in 20 years we've known each other, 24 years, excuse me, she was like, I am definitely right, and she was wrong. Only once. Like, she will not say it unless she's definitely right. I, on the other hand,
you just throw it out there.
I take some risks.
It's all right. It's a way to live life. But to the game, like,
I'm right most of the time.
While Cleveland is bad for sure. I mean, Myles Garrett's good. Bad. They have decent receivers. Like, Deshaun Watson is terrible, but Deshaun Watson also, ironically, like, takes care of the ball in a weird way.
I think Deshaun Watson is the worst. I mean, there are a lot of statistics that say he's the worst quarterback in football this year.
Especially when you put vibes in there.
Yeah, but there are a lot of statistics.
Well, so his QBR this year,
he's holding on to the ball the longest. 30. That's what I mean. There's a lot of stuff.
Sizable gap. Him and 31.
So Shio Kapadia said that, I can't remember what the number was, but like, he is the worst quarterback that like he's graded in like the last few years or whatever.
So,
you know,
so this is a game where, although I'm not saying I'll pick them to do it, you have to come out and play really well.
They have to cover. Like, you know, like, this is a cover it game.
Yeah.
So give me some more optimism coming out of the Bayou. What else you got?
Well,
so it's just the Jalen. All you got?
Yeah. Well, the Jalen thing. I mean, look,
I thought this was like Tucker. Did he not imply like
the health
reasons for excitement coming out?
Health.
Like, Jalen had a good answer.
Yeah. The health. I mean, and look, I will say the schedule.
The health is something.
The schedule overall. They have the
Giants. The Browns.
They have the Browns, then the Giants, then I think it's the Jaguars
and the Bengals. And both the Jaguars and Bengals.
Now
could
the Bengals,
be cooked
I
by
think,
then.
are.
I think they'll figure it out.
They're a way better team than 1-4. I mean, they
agree, but they are 1-4.
We
know how seasons can spiral. We know at a certain point the players like. And again, I think they'll win a couple or whatever before they play the Eagles. I haven't checked their schedule.
Right.
If they're like 1-7 or something, or 2-7 coming into that game, like, it's just hard to be motivated when you're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, and once you're that record, like, yeah, you could win out and make the playoffs, but you're not.
You're not going to.
So I do think there is, especially in a sport, like I've talked so many times about, like, you want it more, you can sometimes get it more, even if you're not as good. I do think that does mentality matters.
I also think, just looking at the schedule, like we talked about how on Sunday you have to have style points, and look, the city needs it. You have to come out and play well and give people reason to believe again. But you also have to go 3-1 in the next 4 games. I don't think 2-2 cuts it. Like, the Bengals is a somewhat of a tough game, just because, like we just talked about, they are still a decent team despite their record. But outside of that, you can't drop 2 of 3 against the Jags, the Giants, and the Browns.
No, you're absolutely right, especially when you're sitting at 2-2.
Maybe if you lose one of them and then you beat the Bengals, like, fine. Like, if you're
right, they need to win 3 of the next 4.
It has to be 3 of 4. 2-2, and like, I know a lot of people are somewhat out on this team already, but if they're 4-4 after 8 games,
especially with
this schedule, and I know they've been on the road a lot, but like, and like, we'll do the whole, well, they have a bunch at home, and but you got to go 3-1. You have to. You cannot split these next 4 games. If you want to be a serious team, because as much as we can look around the rest of the league and say, hey, the Niners haven't been that good, the Cowboys might suck, like, the reality is the Vikings are 5-0. So maybe the Vikings aren't that great, but you know what? Catching the Vikings is going to be super hard.
They're even 3-game lead.
If you're
2.5 game lead on you already.
Washington. We'll see if Washington can hold it up.
Washington's 4-1.
Washington has an easy schedule coming up too.
Washington's schedule is, the Eagles have an easy schedule. Washington's schedule is noticeably easier.
I think they could legit be 7-2.
The Washington schedule is unbelievably easy.
So I know it's early somewhat. You're already starting to have to play serious catch up on some of these teams.
Yeah.
So if you drop,
and especially the Washington one in particular, like win your division, man.
Right. And while the bye week didn't prove to be advantageous in baseball, there is a true
that was an unnecessary one.
I was just saying,
all the other made sense. It was this ties in good. That was unnecessary, dude.
It matters where you finish in football.
I agree with you big time. Way more than any other sport. I think.
So you got to start racking up some wins here.
I agree.
If you're going to be a real contender, if you want to make the playoffs as the 6th seed and like maybe win a game, fine, whatever.
Look, the Packers
your
last
way
year
to 9-8, right?
Packers last year, example of 9-8, and actually like feel like you have a chance in the playoffs. Like, you could maybe win. Like, they should have won that game against the Niners.
Like, sure, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and you can coalesce at the right time. As we see in other sports, I'll just say that.
I will say one life lesson I've taken away from this.
Whoever's hottest.
I think it matters in baseball more than anything.
It does.
By a wide
margin. Yeah. Like, whoever's hottest.
Yeah. Like, I know football's honestly, one game, but still, you have that week off in between.
Honestly,
it's just relentless.
I should have done this during the Bet Park Street, but here's some future betting advice. At the beginning of the baseball playoffs each year, pick 1 or 2 underdogs who are way, way down the list, who are a wild card who got in and are playing well, and just bet on them to win the World Series because one of them probably will.
Well, that's, I think, the tough thing about the baseball playoffs compared to football. Like football, you get 6 days in between games where you can like take a deep breath.
Yeah.
In baseball, it just keeps going. Like you don't get a chance to recover. So,
You're so right.
I think the momentum, it's just so much harder to get over. So anyway.
Yeah, but but then there's a team like Phillies who momentum doesn't even matter. I mean, you win that walk off at Citizens Bank Park, and then it's like the next.
They had the off day in between.
Yeah, you're right. But even still,
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
I think they would have lost regardless.
Yeah,
the Mets are just better. Okay.
But anyway,
God,
this is a chance for the Eagles.
Oh, I'm so annoyed right now.
Like this,
Tucker, I'm so angry. Go ahead.
They're healthy. They have an easy schedule. They're at home. They're coming off a bye. I mean, they could not have it more laid up on a silver platter for them to go out and make a run. Now we said,
and we could not need it more.
Right. And we said after, while 4-4, it was not a fun 2-2. It was not a fun 2-2. You can certainly sit there and go 3 of 4 were on the road. 1 was in Brazil. 1 was in New Orleans.
1 they lost on a Saquon drop.
Yeah. Like, so you can look and
now to be fair, they won the Saints game. And
I know.
But
2-2 is not a terrible outcome. For
2-2 is fine.
But now that's done. You know, like now you got to go 3-1. You can't keep playing 500 football. Like eventually you have to go on a run. In this team,
and you have to look good doing it.
Yes. And
like that's the point is wins, losses. Like they have looked mediocre throughout all of this stuff. Like I need to see this team and give me some belief.
Yeah. And now it is all set up for them. You know, I mean, look, to wrap it up for final thoughts, like it really in a way wasn't set up for the Phillies. They got a super hot Mets team. It was a tough draw they ended up getting, right? Doesn't excuse it, but the Phillies ended up having a tough road through the playoffs. But regardless, the Eagles right now, these next 4, there is no super hot Browns team coming in. They're not playing the 2-0 Saints that are red hot in New Orleans. They are playing teams that are actively bad and are playing bad. Like Cleveland is playing bad. I know the Giants just beat the Seahawks, but the Seahawks blow. That wasn't as good of a record. I know we bet it, but whatever.
Mistakes were made.
Right, mistakes were made.
Like, we knew the whole time
the Jaguars are hanging on by a thread.
I'm with you.
3 of the next 4 teams they're playing are hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. And Jacksonville playing their next 2 games in London before coming back.
Are they really? Wow.
Yeah, which matters as well. So
so like, now is the time. This is it. This is,
totally
we've done a year and a half of waiting to see it. We've done a year and a half of waiting to be like, well, this and that. No, like no more excuses. 3-1 over the next 4. Beat the Browns on Sunday.
100%. All right, let's get final thoughts.
You want to go first?
Sure. You are a fan of giving out free $1-billion ideas on the pod.
I have a good idea, but I haven't wanted to say it.
I'm gonna give mine out right now because I will never technologically be able to do it. Honestly, I'm guessing that someone's thought of this. It's not that. It's pretty obvious, but I don't know why. Maybe it's just that the big big boys in the industry are just unbeatable at the moment. But after the whole thing that happened with, and granted, Mets fans didn't take over Citizens Bank Park or whatever, but the worry about that and the whole thing that happened with the Sixers, Knicks, and all that, like, start a ticket company that's local. Like the whole thing is local.
Like that.
But
before it all is online,
go back to it. Find a way to start where you're in each city. Maybe you have one big overarching thing, but each city, and you only sell within that freaking city to fans of that team. And fans of that team will go there because they don't, as long as they're going to get money for their tickets that equal whatever, they will be happy to sell to their team's fans. Like, it's all because of these big ticket brokers and this and that and whatever. That's how it all works. Like, find a way. And again, I'm not doing it, so I'm not saying it's like, but like, there should be a local version of those type of things where, like there's this thing for Fish, the band, obviously, called Cash or Trade, where you go on and it's called Cash or Trade. And because that's on the lots back in the day, you say Cash or Trade for a ticket, and whatever. But we won't talk about the things that would get traded. Many different types of things.
I'm
get
sure.
Traded for tickets. But it's Cash or Trade is the name of the website. And it's basically, so you sell to Fish fans and you don't go through these big websites. And people it's like a forum where you find each other on these sites and you go direct to them. Like, there should be that for sports tickets.
Well, so I think it's a good idea. I will also say, I know the Sixers did this last year. I'm a little surprised more often ownerships. And
don't just geolocate thing or whatever.
We certainly didn't get in this field because we're good at money. So like, I understand rich people are rich because they don't do things like this. Right. But if I'm Middleton, imagine there's how many real tickets for sale on a ticket resale.
Just buy them all up.
4,000.
I feel the same way.
What are we talking? $30,000.
This was your idea for the same. It was such a good call.
Like, I just think it'd be such a good PR thing. So to your point about fans taking over stadiums, who could really make that not happen? Ownership.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
They could.
No, you're right.
But like, whatever.
Yeah, great point.
So I have, so we both keep folders on our phone with Final Thoughts.
Yes, we do.
So we pull it up, and it's truly an amazing thing. I'm really happy I do.
Oh yeah, me too. It's like, look how
it's
long
just really fun. Like,
look at to have them.
It's a great conversation starter.
Yes, and you know what else it is for me too. And this is actually something. You know what? No, hold on, because I don't have a final thought for the Parks Picks pod. This will be my. What I was about to say will be my final thought for the Parks Picks pod. It's about these notes apps. Go ahead.
So I have one written down that I completely forgot I wrote, but I think this is a very interesting question. And Tucker, please feel free to chime in on this one. If Batman was a real person, like there was a true,
this is not where I was exactly.
There was a true Batman, like someone in this world was Batman.
Yeah.
Right. Not like a forever live Batman.
I get it.
Like someone became Batman. Where would he rank among celebrities?
Dude, hold on. I need to. This is me standing up and giving you a standing ovation for.
Would you rather meet him or like Brad Pitt?
I think,
like if he was an influencer.
I think if Batman,
how many Instagram followers
I think if Batman were real, he would be the most famous person in the world.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he'd be the single most famous, like a true blue, real deal superhero who really does it and fights these things.
Right.
Whatever. I think Batman would be the single most famous,
like,
most
would he
followed,
have the most social media followers?
Yes, if he did it, or like I don't know if he would actually. I mean, if it's really Batman, I doubt he everything. But like whatever, Batman videos, all this stuff, it would be the number one source of content on the planet.
Batman having like 400 million Instagram followers, and like on his story, it's like like
going
I'm the Dark Knight, but
going
it's like,
out to
it's like when I need to do my hair, I use it. Like when the Batmobile needs oil, I call blah blah blah. Like I think he would be like a.
I think he'd be the biggest, most famous person in the world. Tucker?
No, I agree.
Yeah. Like just without a doubt.
Like now, who would be more famous, Batman or Superman?
Superman, because for a very specific reason.
You can see his face.
No, it'd be like we have an alien. An alien has come to the world. Like that.
But Superman's not an alien.
Yes.
I thought Superman was a person.
Elliot, tell me you know the Superman story. Superman's an alien. He is from what's the name of Kal-El's dad, Jor-El, or Jor-El's dad.
I have no idea.
He's from another planet. Oh my God. You didn't know this?
So he's not a human?
No.
Wow.
Kryptonite and all that?
Yes.
I just figured he couldn't have.
No, Superman's an alien. Hence why if it were Superman, it'd be like, wow, we've got an alien here who has these superpowers. Batman is a real person.
I know. I thought they both.
So I think the Batman thing would be the most
famous. But if
famous.
Batman were real, would we know that he's a real person?
Well, we would
like
know.
We would only know half of what we know about Batman.
True, but we would know that he's not flying. We would know that he's
I guess
not.
The fact he can fly
we would know that he's not impervious to like if you just open up his chest and shoot bullets at him, they're gonna bounce off him. Like you know what I mean? Like we would know that he was not normal in that way. Like Superman's flying around, like it's a human being flying. Like that alone would be the craziest thing that's ever happened in the history of the world.
It's pretty crazy that
you called him an alien and a human being.
Well, you know what I mean? Sentence. The point is, we would think we'd be like, "What is?" It would easily be Superman.
But then it's pretty crazy that he dates Lois Lane.
Well,
if
there's
he's an alien and she's a human. I mean, obviously she doesn't know, but I just mean
Elliot. It's comics in the movies.
Well, I'm just,
yes, fictional world.
I mean, people like to pretend they're real, so I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you thought he was a human.
I did, and that's why I thought. But I wonder what Lois Lane knows. Something to think about.
We could really get deep into this if we really want to. Like, the big question.
Look, I mean, date who you want to date.
Let's just go there. How do you have sex? I mean, right?
Well, I mean, he's a human. Well, this is maybe.
But I mean, like the earmuffs category. But like, I mean, it could be like I mean, dangerous is the point.
Or awesome, I would think. I mean, his name is Superman. I don't know.
No, I know, but I mean, like, what if it? I can't say what I want to say.
Yeah, just going. But like, anyway, I think Batman would be the biggest celebrity in the world.
And yes, and if
Top
Superman were real, it would be.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
We're hearing commercials like Batman, like when I need windows.
Yeah, we'll be doing our window. Look, if it's good enough for Batman, it's good enough for you.
Yeah, when I'm in the back game watching baseball, I open the BetParks app. All right, so
great work by you.
Thank
you.
you.
I love your brain. I really do. All right, we'll be back. If you're on the YouTube, stay here. We know it is what it is. If you're listening to this tomorrow, BetParks Picks Pod will be coming out. Or if you listen to this late Friday, you can listen to all of it at the same time.
Yeah.
BetParks Picks Pod coming tomorrow. Until then,
he's Elliot.
I saw Tugger just sitting there like looking at his phone, and I'm like,
something happened.
No, I forgot that I should just go to the next one. I was like going to be like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on point right now.
Yeah.
I should probably pull up the lines.
I thought you had them printed out.
No,
I guess I won't pull them up because I guess them.
that is how we do.
This is good podcasting.
This is great.
Well, it's not.
Well, it's not podcasting, Tucker. This is,
Theory.
you know what this is? This is Tucker having to edit out the middle part.
You know what we should do? Like
What?
answer 2 questions in between.
I
every time.
love that. Are there any questions?
Are there people even? Yeah. Well, maybe don't say.
Let's
Let's
see.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, it's like, it's like, we'll answer questions. It's like, sorry guys, there's no one watching.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, well,
Yeah,
that's
so
embarrassing.
maybe-
but-
Green Bean 8888 says they're talking about Batman. SMH, the city must be cooked.
Yeah. Fair point.
You ain't wrong, Green Bean.
Yeah. Fair point.
Green
Yeah.
Bean.
To be fair, we did talk.
Can I
about
call you GB?
You ready?
Okay, so that was the question we got. That was not a question. That was a statement of fact. Yes, we're cooked. All right.
Yeah.
Someone else says, sorry, James. Bryce Harper will never win a World Series as a Nationals fan.
See, I think that's just so silly. Like they came within 2 games. I just can never sit here.
Yeah,
and be,
I think
you
it's
know,
an asinine statement. Also, go enjoy your last place baseball team. All right.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
They are a Mickey Mouse franchise.
they are. I mean, what embarrassment? You win a World Series and then you sell out
And
and you
lose
forget about your
everybody,
players.
yeah.
The Steven Strasburg
I will
thing.
say this
I
about.
mean, what embarrassment?
I will say this about Middleton.
Come at me, you stupid Nationals fan.
I think Middleton will do whatever it takes to win.
I agree,
that
but
out
at a
there.
certain point,
No,
like,
I mean, look, you can only hand out so much money.
that's what, and especially when you see the money that you hand
I don't
out,
think he'll be
like being
impacted by
returned
that,
to you
though.
by Trey Turner. Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
no, I
well, maybe I won't pay this guy a bunch because Trey Turner's.
All right, here we go.
All right. Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. Bet Park, it is the Bet Parks Picks Pod, which is a real joy for me because I can not really think about Philadelphia sports almost at all.
Well, you know what's
It's really a
interesting?
gift to yours truly today.
It's an interesting look at perception versus how we feel in Philly versus nationally. The Eagles are still favored to win the NFC East, and not by like a ton.
Yeah,
but it's not like 30. You know, I think
which
they're,
is
they're
wild.
maybe minus 140. I could be wrong about that.
All right, so time to go on the spot here.
Yeah,
Would you bet on Washington plus whatever it is?
I mean, let's
take a
be
look.
real. Washington is the best bet. Now,
That's what I mean.
now
That's
the
what I'm saying.
issue is, I think they're only plus
Here, let's take
140.
a look
which
at your
doesn't-
futures. Let's go because this app is so easy to use. I love it.
Yeah,
All right, here we go. To win the division, you are correct. Philadelphia is plus 140. Washington is plus 200. Dallas plus 230. Yeah, Washington. You can get Washington at plus 200
yeah,
odds right
I
now.
mean, it's almost like a what do they know thing. I
It's
know
almost
Washington
like,
has
hey,
to hold
but
it up for a while.
So I
but
think what they know or what is probably baked into this or whatever is that we've seen many, like Carson Wentz 3-0. We're
for
like,
sure.
oh, his team's
Yeah.
going great, and they end up 7-9. Like there are many times where quarterbacks start hot and the NFL gets a bit of a book on them, plays them differently, and all
here's a
that.
question: do you think it'll definitely take 10 wins to win the division?
No, I don't think it definitely will. I
Yeah.
think if
I don't think,
if I had to bet right now, and you said how many wins will it take to win the division, I would probably say 10.
but I think 9 and 8 might.
I
do
think
it,
9-8 might do it.
depending
I
on
think
what
11
games you
and
win
6
and
might do
lose.
it. Like I
Yeah.
think it's somewhere between 9 and 11 to win the division.
Yeah.
All right.
I think 11 definitely wins it. Just throwing that out.
I agree.
I think if you win 11, I'd be pretty surprised.
I
if the team
agree.
won
I
12.
agree. Yeah, but I mean, look, Washington's 3-1, and
Yeah,
with
that's
a
a fair point.
super duper
That's a
easy
fair point.
schedule
That's a
and a
fair
court.
point.
I'm sorry, Washington. They're 4-1. My fault.
Yeah, 4-1. Yeah.
They're 4-1. I mean, they're
No, it's a fair point. You're right.
So all Washington has to do to go with a very easy schedule like we talked about is go 7-5 to go 11-6.
right. But I mean, the Eagles are still favorites. Now I know
I know they
start
are.
the
I'm just
year,
saying. I
but
think 11 is a reasonable
Yeah.
number. Is all I'm saying. All right, let's dive in. Kind of a fun game tonight. I'm kind of looking forward to this one.
I could go for some nice stress-free sports watching.
Yeah, right.
Not
Seriously.
super invested.
Yes. Oh, what a gift
Play on
that would
Twitter.
be.
Eat a snack.
You know what? Stress free minus the money that we will bet on it on the
Yeah,
Bet Parks
yeah.
app. All right, Niners at Seahawks. Hold on. Niners at the stinking blew it for
Blew it
us.
Yeah.
I hate you, Seahawks.
They might be on the list of no longer in the parlays.
Oh yeah, we're not betting.
Done with them.
Yeah, they've ruined it. They had a real chance to be a part of something special.
Dude, the Niners might be, we're
Niners.
talking about things going poorly. I'm going to go in Seattle. Niners minus 4.
3.5.
Oh, I almost said 3.5.
That was a great guess. I would have guessed Niners minus like 1.5, 2. Like good guess by you.
I just see Seattle. You brought this up to me, and it's true. They've beaten nobody. So
Yeah.
like their record is such a fraudulent.
I
record.
know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm mad at myself. It's last week was more a
Yeah,
bet
but the
against.
Giants were also.
It was a bet
set.
against the Giants.
Yeah, going across.
This feels like a Niners line to me. I'm gonna take the Niners.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we'll keep it rolling. We don't do parlays.
No, the Christian McCaffrey thing is. I know he's not playing that.
Wild.
I wonder if he plays again this year.
I don't think he will. Like,
Yeah.
it's starting to feel that way. And
Yeah.
Jordan Mason, what a
Yeah.
pickup by Kristen.
By
in
the
the
way,
fantasy.
fantasy league, she has the most points of any team.
Did she win this week?
She did, barely. Shout out to Tom from Vancouver. So let me tell you.
So yeah, Emily won by 3 points over Charlie. Like, it was really close.
2.
Yeah, really close
Yeah.
week.
As much as we kind of make fun of fantasy, I will
It
say
can be pretty thrilling.
yeah, like me and her were sitting on the couch. Look, it's good for marriages. Me and her were sitting on the couch watching the final drive. Like, literally, I've never won anything more in my life than the Shahib guy or whatever his name
Yeah.
is.
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid, yeah, to not catch a pass. I was like sitting there being like never more invested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You really
He's good, by the way. I like
Oh, he's
yeah.
fun, dude. And the Eagles shut him down.
Yeah.
All right. Sunday. In London, as mentioned before, Jacksonville versus the Bears. In London.
In London. Bears
are technically the home team,
right,
but obviously
yeah. Jacksonville's the real home team.
Always in London.
Yeah. They will move a team to London soon.
The Jacksonville Jaguars will move to London.
I'm
yes.
excited for that. It'll be cool. Chicago -5.
1.5.
Wow, I was way off. Okay.
It's the London thing. I think Jacksonville gets a big bump in London. Plus, it's not like the Bears have been amazing. I do think the Bears might have a good defense, though. I think their defense might be real.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they win big last week? Am I weeks conflating?
They did, but weren't they playing someone horrible?
Won. Yeah, I think they're actually playing. Was it Carolina?
Yeah, it was Carolina. It was Carolina.
I kind of like the Bears.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Bears in this game.
Oh, well, actually, dude, this might be a parlay game for me.
Nah, this is a Jags line. I can't put it in a parlay. And also, as a general rule, I feel like we should avoid London games. Like, they just are weird.
Yeah,
like, we never know what's going to happen. But I wouldn't be shocked if Jacksonville wins because it's in London, you know? So,
yeah.
All right. It's kind of a fun game here. The Arizona Cardinals at the Green Bay Packers.
It's a fun game.
It's a fun game.
Jonathan Gannon.
Some points in this
What a
one,
good job he's doing there. Kyler Murray, by the way. Very good. Very good player. All right,
yeah, he's okay.
That, it seems.
He's
okay, yeah.
Kyler
Murray takes coming off for you.
He's talented, you know, but I don't do I think Kyler Murray is going to win a Super Bowl? Probably not.
No, I agree with that.
You know,
would you take him over Jalen?
I don't think so. I think Jalen's ceiling's higher.
So I actually think
not necessarily as a physical player. I'm talking as a quarterback in the NFL.
I think Jalen's floor is higher.
Well, it definitely is. I'm saying I still think Jalen's ceiling is higher. I think that Kyler's more talented. So it's one of those things.
I think he has a higher ceiling,
but he doesn't. I don't think Kyler does. I don't think Kyler will ever be the leader, the be able to make smart decisions on the field enough. I think Jalen can do that. I've seen him do that.
Yeah,
I don't think Kyler will ever be that.
So this one's in Green Bay.
In Green Bay,
that just feels like a place Arizona
does not feel like an Arizona.
It does not feel like
place.
it. Now it is. You know, it's not
freezing cold, but still.
I'm gonna go. Jordan Love is playing obviously. Packers -2.
5-point Packers line. That's a big line.
I kind of want to take the Cardinals, but this feels like a stay away from it game. But
oh yeah, we're not doing the parlay for sure.
But I'll take the Cardinals. I'd rather root for them.
I'm gonna take the Packers. Cardinals coming off. This feels like a Packers line to me.
Yeah.
Cardinals coming off of upsetting the Niners. Feels
Jordan
like
Love's been turning it over though. We know Gannon.
I feel like the Cardinals are a real week-to-week team. I mean, they lost 42-12 to Washington.
Yeah, Washington. Who knows?
Yeah, Washington might be the best team in football.
Yeah.
All right, we'll save the Eagles for the end or do it now.
Who do you think's more likely to keep it going? Vikings or Washington?
Vikings. I think Vikings are good.
Yeah,
like I'm in on the Vikings.
I don't think quarterback. I like the quarterback so much better. Like Darnold's played awesome.
Darnold's all right though. Yeah, but I said he would be going in, and I just think the Vikings have. I think the Vikings have better coaching. I think the Vikings coaching. Really
I agree
good.
with that. Yeah, I agree with
that. And also I think that I agree. I think Jalen Daniels absolutely will be better and has a better ceiling than Darnold, but Darnold might be better over the course of a season today just because of all the reps he's had. No, it's possible. All right.
Seems like you had a fun one coming.
Well, it wasn't a fun one. It's that the Eagles are up to 9.5.
Oh wow!
The line is now Eagles are the Philadelphia Eagles are a 9.5-point favorite over another NFL team. How is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't get it. We'll get back.
I guess the Browns are falling apart. There's
but
part of
still,
that.
9.5 points, crazy. We'll come back to it.
That is
crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right. The Houston Texans at the New England Patriots, notable because
Drake May.
The first start of Drake May.
Houston -7.5.
You should have left the half off.
All right, still.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
So Houston -7.
I'll take Houston. Houston play seems close, but like
Yeah, they play
Drake
teams
May's
close.
first start. I don't know. I get there's a bit of like
I think they miss
magic,
Mixon.
you know.
That would really help them. I will take the Texans too, but I don't feel awesome about it.
So no parlay game so far.
No, we have no parlay games.
You really don't like the Bears minus?
Look, it's the best one we have. Let's see how it plays out. I just don't like London. Like,
agreed.
If we can do better, we will. If
it's
that's
not like it's a large spread. You're basically just picking the winner.
But I know, but it's London.
No, I know. I get
and
that.
It's the Jags in London. The Jags do it
it
every year. They go to London for 2 weeks. Like, this is what they do.
I get it. That's fair.
I just don't feel super comfortable. Like, I almost picked the Jags. Like, I like the Bears, but I almost picked the Jags just because of London. All right, Colts at Texans.
Colts
at Titans. Excuse me.
Okay,
Titans,
let's say yeah.
Titans.
Colts at Titans. Colts. I have no idea. Like Colts -1.
It's a weird line.
Yeah.
The Titans are a 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, you could have told me anything for this.
I love the Colts here. I don't think the Colts are great, but like the
parlay
Titans
game,
stink.
I guess.
You like the Colts too?
I guess. You feel strongly about it.
I do.
I have no read on this game.
All right, so I'm
By
going to
the
say
way,
Colts.
This is a bit
we'll
off
see where we
topic,
go.
but have you seen the clips of? Actually, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Good. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
Next one, Bucks at Saints.
Wow, a classic NFC South showdown.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I'm excited for Spencer Rattler.
You've
to watch him
always
play. Yeah, I've always been
had a
Spencer
thing.
Rattler guy.
I mean, let's be honest. Unbelievable name.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
I have no idea.
And I think when you
Rattler for like
he was the original next Mahomes too.
Oh, he was, yeah, but
it
then it didn't happen.
didn't happen for him. Obviously in New Orleans.
Yes,
Tampa left early.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about the hurricane factor of that with them leaving,
their families
getting displaced. Yeah. That's tough. That's on your mind. Not like people in New Orleans know anything about hurricanes.
Right.
So
I still think the Bucks are going to be somewhat heavy favorites in this. Bucks -5.5.
Only 3.5.
All right.
Interesting line.
Surprised by that.
Me too. I love the Bucks, but it feels like a Saints line. I love the Bucks here.
And I think I do too.
I think this is a parlay game. Now,
although I'll be rooting for Spencer.
Let's go money line though instead of the 3.5 because that scares me a little.
Should we do all money lines this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's win.
All right. Yeah. It's always been a great strategy.
One of the games of the week, maybe the game of the week. There's one more coming up that I think is really good too. But Washington at Baltimore.
Yes, I saw.
All of a sudden, a really fun football game.
Jaden
game. Daniels versus Lamar Jackson feels super
By the way,
fun.
come with us to Baltimore.
Come with us to Baltimore.
Now that you can stop focusing
Get a little
on the
close.
Phillies.
We're like a month and a half away from it.
It's time to focus and lock in on this.
That's right.
Fans
of Philly, fansofphilly.com with a PH. Check it out.
Yeah, come hang out with us. We'll hang out Saturday. We'll tailgate Sunday.
I've heard some noise from some of our best listeners. Very excited. Some people are showing up. I know. I'll say it. Mike in New York coming to hang out.
Oh, he is? Nice.
Shout out to Mike in New York. Nice. We know Justin in Richmond will be there.
Yes.
We got some more people coming. It's going to be awesome.
Yes. I'm going.
Allie, aforementioned Allie, maybe.
Oh, she is
going
to.
Well. Hopefully.
I was
she hasn't
really going to say
she
we
hasn't
have
locked
to
it
get
in yet.
But
like I am working on it. Like Allie, freaking come hang out with us, dude. Seriously. Like I'm dead. We never get to hang.
Fun. All right. I'm going to go. First of all, I'm going to be. Well, I think Washington's the fun one to root for here. Just if we remove all of our allegiances.
What are you talking about?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Stop talking.
Okay.
Nope. All
right. I'm gonna go Baltimore -3.5.
The Ravens are a 6.5 point favorite.
What? Really?
6.5 points.
Wow. I mean, that is a shocking. 6.5. I mean, what's the Ravens' record?
They're 3-2. They're good. The Ravens
are good. I agree, but I mean,
6.5.
Wow, that is I don't often do like the betting line is motivational billboard stuff, but it's
a Ravens line.
If I'm Washington, that is disrespectful.
It's a Ravens line.
Yeah.
You're gonna take Washington.
I'm gonna take Washington.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
6.5.
6.5.
Wow.
I'm with you. I think they'll be able to score on Baltimore. I think
they're red hot. They've been great. Like they seem like as much as I do agree.
They're not getting
Minnesota has better coaching.
Yeah.
Like they're clearly clicking.
I will take this 6.5 with you. It seems like too many points. Potential. I don't know if I can put Washington in a parlay, but
yeah.
All right, Chargers or Broncos. Oh, real quick before because those are the 4:00 games.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Download the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app. I mean, what are we doing here? All these games to bet on. You know, the parlay we'll probably win. You know, we've won one out of the last two, and we almost won the last one. No big deal.
So we'll probably win.
And we've been on fire with our picks. You can win all this money. There's basketball coming up. playoff baseball happening. You can bet on if you want.
I mean, it could be fun to bet against a team from New York.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good thought. And look, hey, check out what the Tigers' odds to win the World Series are. Like, why not? Like, did I tell you the Tigers do not have a player on their active roster playing in the playoffs who makes over $2.8 million?
Really?
Not
Wow.
one. Not one.
Very different than
how unbelievable is that? Yeah, it's fun that the Phillies are done and the Tigers are still playing. That spend money.
Yeah.
Poor John Middleton. That's Now, I will say, I think Caller did have a fair line where he's like, "I'll never feel bad for someone who owns a private jet."
Well, yes, obviously, but
the guy spent a lot of money. I feel bad. He really wants to win.
This morning, really feeling.
I feel bad for him. I think he's earned that. Yeah. But again, so much fun to bet on all this stuff. Who knows? If you make some good bets, maybe you could be a billionaire like John Middleton too. Just win a lot of bets.
Bet enough.
That's right.
Gambling problem.
Do it. Do it with the Bet Parks app. Plus, you can bet more in the score, touchdowns, interceptions, all the good stuff. Plus, what a list of people at Bet Parks that we're a part of: Mike Quick, Seth Jordan, Jody Mack, Rob Ellis, Joe Conklin, of course, us. The Bet Parks lineup. It's the only sportsbook and online casino app that we use, that we recommend, that we care about. Listen, here's a great deal for you too, because in addition to betting on all these games, you can play live games on your phone, casino games like blackjack, craps, roulette. Here's an unbelievable deal for you. If you are down in your first sign up, new users, obviously. If you're down in your first 24 hours, you get $1,000 casino bonus back. No big deal.
It's a good way to recover from a loss. I gotta say,
we're all figuring out. You want to go in and lose on purpose and get $1,000
just for fun.
What a winner! Casino bonus must be wagered. See betparks.com for the details. You must be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. Gambling problem?
Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Thank you. Let's dive back in as we have the 4:00 game starting. Chargers at Broncos. So this is actually a game that I feel pretty strongly about.
Okay, that was quite the tease there. I was like, you're holding the silence a little. Like, all right. Chargers at Broncos. Chargers -5.
5.
I have no idea.
Chargers -2.5.
Okay.
Love the Broncos.
Yeah?
Love
it.
them.
I'll take the Broncos.
Dude, the Broncos defense is awesome.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The Broncos are 3-2.
Yeah.
Does anyone know that? The Broncos have a better record than the Eagles. The Chargers are like...
played more games.
I know. I'm just saying that, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Chargers, I know the Chargers are coming off a bye, but it's Harbaugh's first bye since coming back, all that. Like, I'm
all down to root for Denver.
Okay. Just in.
I'm in.
Good. Love the Broncos.
Potential parlay game?
Yeah. We would do money line, I'm assuming, -2.5, might as well. Or +2.5, I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Steelers at the Raiders. Ew. Can I just
Steelers
say
at the Raiders.
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah. Gross.
Gross.
Steelers at the Raiders. Steelers -4.
3. You've been right around them for a lot of them.
Yeah, or a few big misses.
Yeah. Well, always a couple big misses.
I'm generally either close or not close.
Yeah. I saw Jack yesterday tweeted the
How's he doing, by the way?
not great.
Yeah.
Not handling it well, believe it or not. But he tweeted, I guess, when he woke up, he did the whole like, I woke up feeling like, either they're gonna win a close one or not show up or whatever. And someone responded, yes, they are either gonna win or lose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Steelers, did you guess yet? Yeah.
I guess the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 4. Yeah, it was -3. Yeah, we got it.
I'll take the Steelers.
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think they're decent.
Money line potential. I'll put it in there and we can take off at the end.
Okay. Yeah. I would almost do the points, but let's stick money line.
Okay.
No, let's stick money line.
Well, they're
-3.
They're -3. So
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put all my lines except the +6.5 for Washington if we put it in there. All right. I'm just adding them all in and we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
The ones we really like. All right. Falcons and Panthers. Ew.
Yeah, for real. Falcons -5.5. 6.
So close.
Yeah.
Always so close or way off.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I'll go Falcons.
I will too.
Not a lot of great games.
No, really bad. So actually, there's only 2 more that I think are even okay. One of them is this next one. This is a pretty good game, I suppose, and certainly interesting for us as Eagles fans. Dallas hosting the Lions. Detroit at Dallas.
It's a good one.
It's a good
Detroit at Dallas.
It's like the 425 national.
Detroit -2.
3. I thought you were gonna get it. I thought you were gonna get it.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Lions.
I'm gonna take the Lions too. What a wild thing.
Yeah.
You picking against Dallas in Dallas.
I just don't know how you can pick against Dan Campbell.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Winning culture, winning organization. If only Dan Campbell were the manager of the Phillies. All right, Sunday Night
Very different
Football.
personality.
You ready for some Sunday Night Football?
You know who would have charged out the dugout about that Alex one?
Didn't get him. Would have
No,
biting some
you know who would've-
kneecaps.
Nick Sirianni.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Everyone wants to see fire.
You're
from-
right. No, Sirianni brings the
Yeah.
fire. Yep.
Yeah.
It would have been yelling at Mets fans. Would have been great.
Also, I don't like the shaming of Alec Boehm for looking upset.
What?
Like he's invested. He's
Be
sad. I'm
No,
fine
no,
with
no.
it.
There's a difference between sulking and looking upset, and also it's the that he's done it throughout the season. Again, when he this came up somehow today, but when he was sulking and threw his helmet and stuff when he got out when they were winning in Kansas City, like that's an embarrassment, dude. Like he is a baby. Like
I'm in on Alec Boehm.
fully
I'm
out.
sorry.
I will be very happy if Alec Boehm's not a Philly next year. That's where I'm at. All right, get ready. Sunday Night Football.
Good one.
Nice for your boy to go bed early. We'll not be watching this
right.
one. Bengals at the Giants.
Wow.
Good
That
night.
is a gross one.
That is a Celts gets to go to bed early on Sunday
if
night.
the Bengals
baby.
don't win this game, I know the Giants just beat Seattle and it's home.
Oh,
But
this is a must. Can I add some more must wins for the Bengals? Yes.
4.5 Bengals.
Only 3.
Wow.
So parlay.
I would bet. Yeah. The Giants can't.
Should we
hurt
go
us 2
money
weeks in a
line?
row. Yeah.
Money line. Okay.
Giants are not winning back-to-back games.
There's no way the Giants are beating the Bengals. I agree with the Bengals.
Malik Neighbors,
season
I don't
online.
think is playing.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Preach. And then interesting Monday nighter for obvious reasons. The Bills at the Robert Saleh-less Jets.
Yeah.
Any quick thoughts on the Saleh thing?
Yeah. So look, prior to Jalen's press conference where he gave that answer, my biggest takeaway was teams can pretend all they want, it doesn't matter. But if your quarterback and your head coach don't get along, it just isn't gonna last.
Yeah, well, especially when your quarterback is in charge of the
Look,
building.
I think Saleh is not a great head coach.
I think
to be
Saleh.
clear.
No. I think Saleh was bad.
Yes. But I also think Aaron Rodgers, I think is worse at being a quarterback right now.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the worst thing that happened to that
Yes,
organization.
that's what I'm saying.
I am so ecstatic he's not a part of my organization. Like outside, forgetting the fact that he's about as unlikable a football player as there is right now. Like just as a human, I actively dislike him.
Right.
I dislike the way he goes about his life and the way he talks, and the way he uses his platform. I actively dislike Aaron Rodgers, but throw all that out the window. As a leader, as a football player, as a quarterback, as a, bringing the team, he has done nothing but cause problems for this team this year. And no matter what he says, I think every single person alive knows that Robert Saleh is gone because they're.
And that's why I almost feel bad for Robert Saleh.
I
don't think he's great at his job.
He probably should have been fired after last season. I know he's had all those quarterbacks and stuff, but
well, you know what else is wild? Quick Jets thought Joe Douglas.
It's amazing he's still there.
And I was talking to one of
you
my
miss on
Jets
Zach
friends.
Wilson alone.
Yeah.
Is such a massive miss. And then
now I know Aaron Rodgers got hurt, but still.
Saleh disaster, and then this Rodgers thing.
Do you think he'll get to pick a new head coach and quarterback this offseason?
I mean, I wouldn't let him.
But what's crazy?
It depends. Look,
I
if
do
they
think
make
he's
the
a good eye
playoffs,
for
if they
talent
make
in
the
a weird way.
I think the Joe Douglas thing, I think, has been proven exactly what he is. He is perfect for the role he was in when he was here. He is a director of pro player personnel and probably as good a one as you're going to find. He is not a general manager.
It also, I think, proves you can get everything right, but the quarterback has to.
It has to. You have to.
Because they have a good team outside of that.
Yeah, and they have an okay. I think the team has been a little hyped up. I think it's not quite as good. I mean, the offensive line, he has yet to hit on offensive linemen.
Yeah,
they have consistently had bad offensive lines there.
Hey, Mekhi Becton playing the wrong position.
Yeah, seriously though. I mean, Mekhi Becton cut. But by the way, Mekhi Becton tweeting out the.
Yeah.
I always think about the Embiid.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, great job.
It
is a great meme. It
is.
is.
Yeah. It's one of the better memes.
It is one. It's one of the better ones.
Yeah.
It is one of the better.
Maybe
ones.
on the Mount.
I will say, tough. You know you'll see the ones where it's a tweet and it'll be a picture of something and be what does that mean? It means, someone did the I can't remember what it was and I apologize. Someone on Twitter did are you coming? And they put a picture of the Phillies. And it's what's that
people?
mean?
That's that new joke.
Means I'm not showing
up. Yeah, that's the new one on Twitter.
It was tough.
So who are the Jets playing?
The Jets are playing the Bills.
So I think the Bills are going to trounce the Jets. I will guess though the line is Bills minus. By the way, speak about bad coaching. Sean McDermott this past week.
Especially because
people want to rip Nick. That was
McDermott has had multiple of these exact things at the end of games. And obviously, we all remember the 13-second thing. McDermott. I was shocked they brought him back last year after last year, and especially with all the 9/11 stuff and all that was weird.
Yeah, I agree.
The fact that like whatever else you want to say, the fact that he did that in a meeting and like used the terrorists as a way to show about organization or whatever the hell that was, like that's like all right, get the hell out of our building right now. Like that was like, I don't care what the message was. Like, are you like how dumb are you?
It was, it was bad. I agree.
So I'm shocked he's still there. I know he's had wins there. Like I'm shocked.
Yeah. And that's a good job if someone can get it, like that's a good
Allen,
and I mean it's an awesome football city.
People care.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to live.
Kind of suck.
Don't know if I live in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Sorry to all of our Buffalo listeners. I'm sure it's lovely.
Sure it's fun. I like snow sometimes.
I don't.
I know you don't. I'm going to go Bills -6.
2.5.
Well, obviously I like the Bills.
Yeah. So that's a parlay too.
Yeah.
So right now we have 6 games in the parlay.
Oh, but all money lines.
All money lines except the plus. We can get rid of the Washington plus 6.5. We don't need Washington in our parlay.
I agree.
Okay, so we have 5 now. Tell me what you feel the best about.
What's it at right now?
It is at plus 13.
All right, so we got some room.
Yes. So we have the Buccaneers money line against the Saints in New Orleans.
I like that one quite a bit.
I do too. We can get rid of the Broncos. Like that was a meat thing.
I agree.
Okay,
take that one out.
Okay, so now we're at 4. Do we want to? So we're at plus 549. This is actually pretty good here. So 4 money liners. Bucks money line in New Orleans. Steelers money line in Las Vegas. It's 4 road teams. Yeah. Bengals money line against the Giants. Bills money line against the Jets.
So I think if I had to take out one, it would probably be the Steelers. But
you could take the Steelers out. Then we're at plus 306.
What do you think? You make the call.
A little light, but if we could also get a win.
Yeah. I don't know though. The Steelers coming off a loss. I feel like Mike Tomlin.
I think the Steelers are going to win.
Yeah, all right. Let's keep the Steelers.
Okay. All right.
That brings it back up. What, 5 something?
Get the Steelers back in there. Hold on.
You just can't pick Justin Fields lose 2 games.
Okay. It's all he does. Yeah. All right. I mean, we are a Justin Fields podcast.
We are.
Okay. So here we go. Official parlay.
By the way, can you imagine if they had a real backup quarterback, the Eagles right now, the pressure that would be on Jalen?
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something, right?
Yeah. So it is Bucks money line, Bengals money line, Bills money line, Steelers money line. Let's freaking go.
I like it.
All right, final thoughts.
All right, so I have an idea for a great restaurant, and before I say it, though, it might already exist.
I wish you could have seen Tucker's face there, because Tucker just goes like this, like.
All right,
it was like one of those, like.
I'm gonna lay it out for people. If you want to go, start it, go do it. I'll be a customer.
Okay. Oh, I like this.
So
I mean, like. Let's just say if someone like we always say, no one actually has done any of these things. If someone does do it, like please give Elliot a free meal.
Yes.
Like
well,
or something.
I would deep down be a little sad if someone made a ton. Like, but I don't have the energy to do it. Or the ability.
Or the time or the resources.
All right. Not like I just, have tons of time all day. But all right, so here's the name of the restaurant. It's called I'm gonna just explain it, then give you the name. No, I'm gonna say the name first.
Okay.
All right.
Say the name first. It's
gonna be called The Usual. All right.
Okay.
And here's what it is.
Okay.
They save every single thing you've ever ordered with all the specific things you want. And you call in and you just go, hey, it's Elliot. I'll have the number 7 usual for me, but it's my number 7. So I don't have to always explain, hey, I'll have an Italian hoagie with no lettuce, no tomatoes, but I do want onions. I also have hot and sweet peppers.
Okay. So
it's specific.
I get it. It's a really interesting idea. And so initially my thought was like, that's way too much work. Like no one would ever do that.
Save it in a system.
I know that's where I'm going. I'm going the fact that with technology now, like I do think there is the potential where you could have a phone number calls up and all these orders pop up or whatever. Now I do think it's a little.
But I think for the restaurant, it's better too. Because like if
I don't have to go, they could just hit 7. Or
I get it.
You
know that you have it the way you want. Like, and so it's called
look,
The
it's
Usual.
It's not
right. Like, okay, so I like beef ho fun a lot. So, but I don't like vegetables. So every time I call, I have to go beef ho fun, no vegetables, just noodles, just meat. Yeah. And 8 out of 10 times it's right, but the 2 times it's not, I'm like,
it's devastating. I get it. Trust me. There's nothing more devastating
than mess up. Yeah. But I think it would cut out.
Oh, I think it would mess up much less. Yeah, I think that would be kind of what they do.
Can't you just use the reorder feature on most
but
apps?
I'm saying if you call,
who calls to order food anymore?
I call. I mean, I don't know if we can say restaurant names, but there's
you don't have to say it. But the point is, you
there's a hoagie place I call in South Philly that I can't like.
That's true. I do call. I call.
Yeah. By the way,
great hoagies.
Yeah.
They're my
favorite.
Like
I've very nice people, but like I have to call.
I do too,
and they always get it right. I will say.
They always get it right there.
But like.
No, I get your point.
I always feel so bad on the phone to this poor old woman. Like, I'll have an Italian hoagie, but can I please have no lettuce, no tomatoes? But I do want hot peppers, sweet peppers. Can I have no oil? But I do want tomatoes.
I get it.
It's just a lot. So I feel like.
I think it's a great point. I do think Tucker's. I think there is a limited market for people calling now.
But also,
like Emily, let's put it this way: like Emily would rather starve than call someone and talk to them on the
Kristen's
phone.
the same way.
Like literally,
But,
like not just order online. She would order online, but if online were not an option, she would not eat out because she had to call. She would make food at home.
But
like,
to counter Tucker's point, I do think there would be an easiness of just opening their app and hitting like boom, done, instead of having to hit all the things.
I get it. Oh, and having but the certain ones you can hit.
Yeah,
like
you can hit reorder. I get that. I was thinking there'd just be a personal part to it.
I get it.
Of the usual.
I like
hey,
that.
It's part. Elliot. Oh, it's Elliot. Hey, you want the usual? Yeah, I'll have my usual.
I don't hate it.
I think if you're a more memorable customer, they might just remember you.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're a bigger tipper.
That was tough.
Wow.
So like Tucker just cut you down.
I have
in a massive way.
I have a funny thing. I'm pretty sure it's pod appropriate. I think it is.
Oh, good.
All right. So
love a good. Pretty sure it's appropriate.
Kingsley went to the vet, right? And like, so he gets a general checkup or whatever.
Mhm.
And I guess when they get a general checkup, I guess they just like, this body part, like good, right?
Mhm.
Like, so
was it like penis or something?
yeah. So wait, but hold on. But guess what they use to describe it? And I think they just mean like it's okay. They put unremarkable.
Oh my God, are you serious?
How funny is that? And I think they just mean,
you know, freaking tweet
it's
that.
unbelievable.
That would be,
right?
oh my God,
unremarkable.
What is happening?
Kingsley will be so embarrassed. But like,
imagine if that was like an actual dude. Like, oh my God.
Like, obviously, what they're saying is like, it's all good. Like, nothing to comment
fine.
about. Yeah,
no issues.
But it's just the word is so funny. Unremarkable.
Is amazing. I hope someone like is having fun with that and they could choose a word that works.
So good, right?
All right. That's gonna be tough to follow. I said I would say for my final thought with the notes thing, and it is a great point because mine is called Random Thoughts and Takes, and they have like a little fire symbol and whatever. Yeah, I really take it seriously.
I'm surprised you, not to insult you, but you knew how to like make it all caps and bold. And you're just not a.
I'm not a Luddite.
It's just
I'm not a Luddite. Plus, I love notes apps.
Mine just says final thoughts.
Oh, see, yeah, mine's better. See, I have little things.
I'm probably getting close to 100.
I mean, look at all my things I got. I got best movies I watched in 2024.
Yeah.
I got my side topics, movie list, movie top fives, Go Birds notes. That's where I take notes during the games that I actually never end up using.
Same. I take notes all the time.
I take all notes and I never open them for a pod. Like at the very end of the pod, I'll scroll through and be like, Anyway, but here's the thing that I learned with the Random Thoughts and Takes thing that we use for this pod and stuff. And it is fun to have these like thoughts and stuff in there. But what it really has been great for me, and I would recommend to other parents and people to do this, because I've done so many Zoe final thoughts and she said so many funny things on. It's become like a log, like a bunch of memories.
That is cool.
Of things Zoe has done and said over the years that are hilarious and this and that, and they take me back to this moment. So in a way, it's been like a way to kind of chronicle Zoe that I would have never done before and would have never be able to remember all these funny things that she says, and now I've got them. So I would recommend a notes app for people, or whatever your version of this is, whether it's voice notes to yourself or whatever. Like when your kids do something hilarious or say something funny, or you have one of those moments, like write it down. Like remember it. I do think it's been really cool to be able to go back to.
I do think what is cool now versus like when we grew up is like, my parents have tons of pictures of me when I was young, but like,
oh, totally. The life is chronicled in such a different way.
Exactly. Like it is cool to have all those like, memories, like just right there in your phone. And
100%.
The log is cool.
Yeah. All right.
Now my final thoughts log could be, when I'm 70, look at it and be like, the usual.
No, but I think it's fun, period. Like I do love the like going back and be like reading dumb stuff.
I agree. 100%. Yeah.
All right. That's all we got. Until then, but also
Go Birds Radio
Saturday, 1 to 3. We're back. We're fully back.
Things to talk
no
about.
Phillies to pull us away from anything. Like go time. Come hang out if you're in the area. Fun. We would love to see you. Joe from Jersey said he's going to swing by. Great caller to the station. We love Joe.
Need him to come to Baltimore.
You can meet Joe from Jersey.
Yeah.
How about that? Coming out and then come to Baltimore with us. We'll tell more about that obviously coming up. And style points, man. Go beat the crap out of the Browns. Seriously.
Agreed.
Until then, he's James.